in 1965, when Maldives got independence, we were one of the first countries to actually recognize them and establish diplomatic relations. Then we had started it in Sri Lanka, and so with concurrent accreditation of Maldives in Sri Lanka. Then subsequently, in 1978, we moved over here. So the relationship has been continuous and strong and very friendly. We would be having bilateral meetings at the level of Prime Minister and President, both at the presidency, followed by various MOUs that would be signed, various projects that have been done under the Indian support. Our cooperation in terms of military side is quite strong. We had even given a ship for that Coast Guard, which we had refurbished very recently and had escorted it back to Maldives to function within their navy, which is part of the MNDF. This is a very important visit. This visit is happening at a time when not only is Maldives celebrating its 60th anniversary of its independence, we are also celebrating, we will be starting it's the anniversary of the 60th year of the establishment of diplomatic relations between our two countries. Now, in 1965, when Maldives got independence, we were one of the first countries to actually recognize them and establish diplomatic relations. Then we had started it in Sri Lanka, and so with concurrent accreditation of Maldives in Sri Lanka. Then subsequently, in 1978, we moved over here. So the relationship has been continuous and strong and very friendly. President Muiz had invited our Prime Minister. For many years, there has been nobody as the guest of honor. So he had invited as the guest of honor for the Independence Day. And our Prime Minister also happens to be the first head of state to visit Maldives under the presidency of President Muiz on a state visit. So this assumes a lot of importance. Last year in October 2024, when President Muiz had come to India on a state visit, both the leaders had agreed on a vision document on a comprehensive partnership on economic and maritime security thing. Both the countries have been working on the vision set by the leadership, and this meeting would certainly help in consolidating the ties between our two countries.
How are the preparations going? Is the Indian diaspora to welcome PM Modi?
The first question I would answer in one word: busy. There has been a lot of things that we have been undertaking. The diaspora is very enthused. They are very enthusiastic in receiving our Prime Minister. We would be having bilateral meetings at the level of Prime Minister and President, both at the presidency, followed by various MOUs that would be signed, various projects that have been done under the Indian support, whether it is in terms of line of credit or buyer's credit or grants. Those projects, many of them would be handed over or inaugurated. And then next day, there would be other meetings, and in the evening, there is this Independence Day celebration, which our Prime Minister is attending as the guest of honor, after which the visit should conclude.
How do you see India-Maldives relationship? There was some rough patch between the two countries, but how do you see the relationship moving forward?
India and Maldives have a very strong relationship. We have been historical neighbors, we have been geographical neighbors, and therefore our relationship had continued over centuries, I would say. I mean, if you have to look at it in Indus Valley civilization, Lothal, where we had one of the port cities in Gujarat, from there people used to travel to the Laviani Atoll and the Nunu Atoll in the northern part of Maldives. People have crossed the seas and maintained relationship, people-to-people contact, trade and economic ties and everything. I would say that we, in the modern times, have also continued to invest very much into the relationship. Our Prime Minister has very clearly said that for India, in Indian diplomacy, neighborhood first policy is something very, very important. And amongst the neighborhood first policy, he has said very clearly that Maldives occupies a special place. So we have continued to cooperate with Maldives, and we continue to develop our ties in all areas, whether it is political, developmental assistance, trade and economic relations, people-to-people contact, cultural, and I would say that we have very strong relationship.
So any major announcement or project being expected during the Prime Minister's visit?
We are working on various MOUs, and we hope that everything would be in place in terms of whether it is commercial aspect, whether it is fintech and the financial side, the fintech side, the health side, fisheries, and so on the pharmaceutical side, so on and so forth. We hope to have some good outcomes for this visit.
So India is Maldives in defense and maritime security domain. If you could highlight the significance of these domains and others also when it comes to India-Maldives relationship.
We have been capacity building has been one of the stronger points of India's relationship with Maldives. If you look at the military cooperation, we have been having various exercises that we have been doing, and recently, now regularly we do about 3 exercises in a year, and this year we have actually increased it to 1 more on the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. So our cooperation in terms of military side is quite strong. We had even given a ship for their Coast Guard, which we had refurbished very recently and had escorted it back to Maldives to function within their navy, which is part of the MNDF. Capacity building, both in terms of infrastructure as well as people training, has been quite strong. We have been training more than 300 military officials from Maldives in India on a regular basis every year. Plus, we have also on the multilateral side, we have had very good cooperation in terms of the Colombo Security Conference. Maldives has also become a founding member of the Colombo Security Conference, which concentrates on the Indian Ocean region, rim countries, and particularly on the maritime security. So I would say that overall, our relationship has been blossoming well.
So what is the update on the Greater Maldives? And India is one of the largest development partner when it comes to Maldives. How do you see that partnership as well?
You're absolutely right. India is one of the biggest development partner for Maldives, and in the past few years we have done various projects, including the Hanimadu Yar reconstruction project, the Gan Airport project, Addu roads and sanitation project, water sanitation in about 34 different islands, so on and so forth. Our exposure has been quite good. The Greater Malay Connectivity Project is one of our flagship projects. It's one of the largest infrastructure projects in Maldives. We are now constructing a 6.7 kilometer long bridge across the open sea, connecting 3 islands to Malay, so totally connecting 4 islands. And once this is done, I'm sure more than 61% of this project has been completed. And the major portion of the piling, more than 263 piles, some even at the depth of about 55 meters of water and another 65 meters under the seabed. Total about 110, 120 meters have been dug, and all the piling has been done. That was the major portion and an engineering challenge. Once this GMCP is completed, I'm sure it would unleash the economic potential that Maldives has in its growth story.
And so what about the free trade agreement between the 2 countries?
We have agreed on the terms of reference to start the free trade agreement between our 2 countries, and I'm sure it would be announced during the visit once it is finally done. So that is another important area where we would be starting the free trade negotiations.
So just last question, Indians play when it comes to boosting tourism in Maldives. Last year we saw there was a dip in tourism. How do you see Prime Minister Modi's visit boosting this tourism sector in Maldives?
With the visit of Prime Minister, India would also see the growing relationship between India and Maldives, and I'm sure there would be an uptick in the tourism side also. Maldives has also been working very closely with our people in India. They have identified a brand ambassador who would be coming over, who would be supporting Visit Maldives. Last year, more than 140,000 Indians had visited. This year, till June, more than 60,000 have visited. And it would be nice to point out here that the 1 millionth tourist of 2025 was an Indian. So there has been quite a good growth. We are also into various other initiatives which we are working with the government to facilitate Indian tourists in using our own areas and other things to help promote tourism between our 2 countries.